you just signed a bill, and it was a veto-proof bill having to do with trans medical care with children. The total number of people who identify as trans in America is 0.5%. Yeah. And you've made this point when you vetoed a previous bill that had to do with trying to ban trans individuals from participating in sports. How do you stop? It's mostly coming from your party. We saw there's over 299 bills that have been introduced. 2/3 of them, this year alone, 2/3 of them target trans people. And again, 0.5%. Yeah. You just made the point yourself. What is this obsession?
Well, I think it is a growing number. In fact, it's a vastly growing number. If you go back just 10 years ago and look at the numbers, and here's the problem. This has become such a toxic issue that it's hard to have a rational conversation around it. I actually had to look outside the United States to get data. I looked at what happened in Sweden, look what happened in Finland, look what the French are saying about this, the explosion that they're seeing in those numbers, and some concerns about this. It's not just about providing care or not providing care. It's about whether we might potentially be harming young people, not having enough evidence to see what the long-term results of this are, and providing better psychiatric help for those young people who are going through this.
But you took this power away from parents to make this decision. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, we take power away from on a lot of things involving our young people. If there is potential long-term harm for our kids, we need to find that. And what Utah did was just push pause until we can get better data. We have a mandate in the bill to go out and look at the best data all across the country and then make a decision.
You've talked about, I'm running out a little low on time, but there's a state senator in Kentucky who did a very impassioned speech earlier this week. Her son committed suicide. Yeah. Her son's trans. Yeah. And she was basically begging the legislature to stop these bills that are targeting, because it's making these folks feel like targets.
And that's the hardest part of this. That breaks my heart. What we're doing is we're increasing funding for our LGBTQ community to help with these issues. And so it's, again, if we could get outside of the culture war piece of this and have these kind of rational conversations, I would feel much better about it. I fully admit there are people on my side of the aisle that are targeting these, that do not have their best interest at heart. Right? I think there are people on the left that are promoting these things who also don't have the best interest of some of these kids at heart. And I think we should be able to sit down, and that's what we've been doing this week, is having rational conversations.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.